increase productivity in the workplace. By the end of this video, you're going to learn how you can increase productivity in the workplace without inspiring an insurrection. The first thing you're going to do is answer the question that no one seems to be asking when it comes to increasing productivity in the workplace. Next, we're going to highlight the resources you do not have at your disposal so that you can be a little bit more strategic in the process. And then lastly, you're going to take the first steps toward removing inefficiencies that will allow you to create a more holistic process to increasing productivity. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and answer that question that no one seems to be asking when we talk about increasing productivity in the workplace. You ready? Why do you want to increase workplace productivity? Why? Are you finding that you're operating at a slower pace than you were in the past? Are you trying to grow your business? Are you finding that your employees seem to be becoming more unproductive? I ask this question because oftentimes I find that business owners believe that you should increase productivity just as a matter of course. We just always need to do more, and churn out more. But that can actually lead to burnout. So we want to understand specifically what goals are we trying to achieve with this increased productivity, because understanding our goals will help us identify the best strategy for doing that. Because remember, I said we want to do this without inspiring an insurrection. So let's talk about the resources you do not have at your disposal. Are you ready? More of your individual workers' time. You do not have that. People are burnt out globally. I know because I speak to global audiences. If you're located in the United States, you might be saying, oh, it's just a US thing. I assure you, it is not. Globally, workers are feeling drained. They're feeling burned out. And so adding more to any individual person's plate without finding a way to move things off of their plate is a surefire way to have a truly unproductive workplace and to even have quite a few people that are quitting on you. We don't simply want to find a way to make people move faster. If we want humans to be more efficient, we have to give them tools to accomplish more with less time or the same amount of time. But ideally, if you're trying to convert someone into a new way of doing something, showing them that there's a benefit to them, like they might save time, is one of the best ways to do it. So here are your options. You can either outsource so that you get more done. You can hire more people so that you have a larger group of people to do the increased workload. Or the last option is you can turn your people into cyborgs. Now you might be saying, Crystal, what in the world are you talking about? Cyborgs are not androids. If you think about an android robot, that's like Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. It's a robot that imitates a human. That's not what I'm talking about here. Turning your people into cyborgs simply means taking a human and giving them technology attachments. So like, for instance, Iron Man is a cyborg. It's a human, but they have technology that makes them more efficient, effective, or connected. And so if you're thinking about adding more technology to your technology stack, that is a way to make people more efficient. So let's look at some of the technology attachments that you could add. That could be other robots themselves so that they're working in teams with other machines. That could be using things like AI, which is algorithms that create output that's almost human level of intelligence, or actually in most cases better, so that you're helping your people team up with machines that make them smarter, or with technology that makes them smarter. Or you can connect them with any other type of technology that extends their abilities as a human. I'll give you an example. A few months ago, I was speaking to the largest association of administrative professionals in the United States. And one of the things we discussed was the advent of the personal computer. And I asked them, when the personal computer was first introduced into your offices so many years ago, do you remember having any peers that refused to use computers? And the whole room, there's thousands of people in there, hands went up and they're like, yep, I know people that did that. I know people that refused. And I asked them, I said, where are they? And all of them pretty much answered, gone, fired, gone, or they had to change their minds and adapt, right? Computers extended how much we could get done. If you think about many jobs that exist today where employees are using computers, can you imagine how much work they would get done without that computer? How long would it take them to do those same assignments by hand? How long would it take for them to not have access to email, but have to literally mail documents back and forth and wait for them to come back before they could make additional moves? I think we can all see the importance of leveraging technology and how humans leveraging it can extend their capabilities and allow them to get more done without necessarily adding more stress, other than the stress of adapting to the new technology. Now, you are going to have people who do not want to adapt. These are the people who are resistant to change. If you know people like that, or if you struggle with managing people like that, I want you to take a moment and look at some of the videos that I've already created about how to adapt to change or how to accept change without having a lot of stress. We have quite a few videos touching on that. Feel free to look through the catalog and find the video that best fits you. So let's go back to the topic at hand as we're talking about how to get more productivity out of the workplace. One of the challenges that I see is oftentimes business owners and upper management, they make decisions in silos and they don't really involve the people who have the most insights. The people who have the most insights in an organization is the line employees as well as the customers or clients. And so in this case, you want to take all of your team members, every single one of them. I'm including the person who sweeps the floor after work or who vacuums the floor after work. We want the entire team, put them in a room and ask them, what inefficiencies are they seeing? What things are they seeing are creating double entry? How do they think the business could run better? What are some things that the departments can do better so that information flows more freely? Ask them for their suggestions and what problems they're seeing and leave it open-ended. It's not a question of can we do things better or how would you rate the effectiveness or efficientness of our technologies or our processes. Ask them open-ended questions so that they can start to present not only solutions, but some of the problems you may not have even seen. Repeat this exact same process with your customers and your clients. Where are you seeing inefficiencies in what we're delivering to you? What can we do better? What is a pain point that you've experienced as a result of doing business with us? Now, take the data from your employees and that data from your customers, and when you start to put it together, you'll start to see the areas where you could stand to be a little bit more productive. You might even see that there's some things that you can cut out of your business because maybe it's not serving the clients the best. Maybe it's creating an inefficiency. Maybe there's services that you're currently offering that's only pulling in less than 5% of your business revenue, and it's not really something that you want to continue. Well, asking these kinds of questions and then analyzing the information will help you make much more strategic future-based decisions. Now that we have the data that we need to start thinking about what areas we might be able to increase productivity, we understand how we can increase productivity either through outsourcing, hiring more people, or turning our people into cyborgs. Now the question we have to answer is, how do we move forward? One of the first things we want to do is to re-examine our culture. Let's take a look at our culture. Are the tools that we're proposing something that is likely to be accepted by our team members? If we have a lot of team members who are resistant to change or who are technophobes, introducing a great deal of new technology at once may not be the way to go. It's not just about finding the best solution, but the best solution for your team. If you're proposing suggestions that maybe your clients or customers, they wouldn't care for in terms of how they're being serviced, you might have to rethink that. So we do have to think about the culture of our organizations before implementing change. Next, we have to think about how we're going to set up these processes or technologies or how we're going to reorganize so that we can be our most productive. And when we think about this, we're thinking about the tangible items that need to be restructured as well as the virtual items. Maybe we need to bring in a partner that specializes in reorganizing these types of things so that we can be more strategic in implementing them. The last thing we have to consider is training and retraining. Because as we're shifting things around, as we're incorporating new technologies or people or outsourcing processes so that we can be more efficient, we do want to make sure that we're training our current people. And if possible, we want them on the front end of that training so that they're making suggestions and telling us what they need by means of training so that they can be successful, because we need to have their buy-in. Speaking of buying in and training people for the future, I have a special tool for you. You're going to notice that in the description of this video, there's a link to download a Future Ready Playbook. This playbook is full of worksheets and activities that will help you be more strategic in how you're planning the future of your business, your career, or even things in your personal life as well. If you haven't already downloaded the playbook, take a moment, do it right now.